And what's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel and check out the content. So far today, it's just me and my man Jim. Okay, there you go. Sorry about that. That's I was checking that volume. Make sure we was good on the volume. But so far, it's just me and Jim today, man. Just in here, we're gonna give our inputs on what's going on with the WNBA and the NBA. Where you want to start at, Jim? You want to start with the NBA or the WNBA?
Your choice. Your choice. You the man.
Let's go with the WNBA, right?
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Now, it's been a lot going on, like surrounding Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So the last game they played against the Atlanta Dream.
Yeah.
And so, players on the teams are still going at Caitlin Clark, like playing her aggressively and playing her physical and stuff like that. And people are making a big deal of it. Like, do you think it's a big deal that they're playing her physically and people are going at Caitlin Clark?
No. I think so. This is what was happening last year, right? We saw a lot of people, a lot of the players coming at her, right? And that was what everyone told her. Hey, this is what's going to happen because they're going to test you, and that's part of. Look, if you're a big name and the hype is surrounding you, and you go, I don't care what professionally you go into,
right?
The pros are going to challenge you. And that's what happened last year. And I think there was a lot of narrative, a lot of folks that were new to the game were coming in and they were getting a little, the hype or the outrage got a little overboard, in my opinion.
Right.
And so that I think spun off into all sorts of different narratives that we're even talking about today. But I mean, so to bring it back around, she had a great year, right? She set the WNBA record for assists. She's done all these things, right? She's setting records and she's living up and exceeding the hype in some areas. And so now things are picking up and she's playing the game that she's always played, but she's got a few other people around her that seem, at least in these early games, that are really understanding the narrative and they got her back. Right. So her, I think her teammates are, with, who's the tall girl that they picked up
I forgot. I know you're talking about. You're not talking about Boston, though. You talking about
no. That other really tall girl that they picked up, and they picked up Sophie Cunningham and Bonner. Bonner, yeah, and so they got. I mean, they've got some veterans that are there that are bought into the system. They got Stephanie Wright leading things. So I think, I mean, I'm not surprised that the other teams are going to play her hard because she's everything goes through Caitlin.
Right.
And if you're gonna have a chance, you got to play her tough. And I've said it for as long as we've been talking about it, man. I love the physical basketball. I like physical basketball because that, as a fan, that's what I like to watch, right? And so, so I think, I mean, the drama I think is starting to heat up, and all the headlines around Caitlin Clark. I mean, the hard foul on Angel was, it was great as a fan to see. Hey, man, they're getting after it. They're passionate.
Yeah.
After the game, both of those women were like, "Yeah, that's just basketball."
Right.
And I mean, whatever rivalry and animosity. I mean, I don't think they hate each other, but they want to compete.
Yeah,
these
no
are
doubt.
pros. They want to compete.
No doubt.
And so they're going to play hard, and they're not going to like each other, and that's fine because you're not there to like each other. You're there to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think people are going to people have taken that and run with it, and and there's all sorts of storylines around that. Of course, I'm back to what the ladies said. It's like, no, we were just playing.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I fouled her. I wanted to put her on the line. Okay,
Yeah.
you went a little extra. You pushed, and so you got the flagrant one. Angel did what she was supposed to do. She got up pissed, and she was ready to let
Yeah.
her know that she was pissed, as any one of us would have done. And free throws were given, and the game moved on.
Right. Yeah. I think that the thing about it with Indiana, that's the purpose of, like you said, they bringing in Bonner and they bringing in all these other young ladies. So, like for instance, the Dream played Caitlin Clark real hard and all over the court, and they just tried to get into her head, but they still lost the game. You know.
Yeah.
So if you know what I mean. So if playing her hard, really don't benefit you, or putting your total focus into her don't benefit you, then some of that will, then, because the object is still to win the game.
Yeah.
So if you don't win and you still put all your effort into Caitlin, some of that, as long as Caitlin Clark just maintain her poise and just continue to play hard, she'll be okay. I know the people try to make a big deal about her not her 3-point streak or something. They said it was interrupted. She didn't hit a 3 that game. But I was like, it's not about, it's about winning the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, as long as she win, because I'm sure that, like Larry Bird, when he was playing for the Celtics, that kind of stuff, all that outside noise, you got to play through that.
Yeah.
Because it's about winning. Michael Jordan, what's the other guy? Tiger Woods, they got challenged when they first went to the big leagues. And so it's a part of the game. As long as she maintain her cool and just play through it. I thought that same thing with Angel Reese. Like, I think that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, both of those, they have to separate themselves from like their fan bases. Like, because the fan base, the fans are just going crazy, going back and forth with each other, and then they want Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark to take part in that.
Yeah.
But that's not their job is to win, on the court.
Yeah.
And so if they handle that situation the way Magic and Bird handle the situation, because I know, like, it's just really basically just come down to them, like, just basically doing their job as professionals. I think that the WNBA really should be focusing on like I said, just real rivalries. I don't even think Chicago and Indiana is a rivalry though, because neither one of those teams really won anything.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I know Indiana has won a championship way back in the day.
Yeah, they did.
But it's been a while, and I don't know if the Sky has ever won a championship.
I don't recall the Sky winning the championship.
But I think, I mean, the fact that geographically they're close.
Yeah.
And then Reese and Clark coming out at the same time with the drama that they had from the, what was it, the 2023 2022 NCAA championship.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that I think the WNBA is finally gonna leverage that rivalry as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, so the thing that I found interesting this week was the discussion that Ryan Clark had about the drama around Angel Reese, and it really had nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. It was really how does his opinions on how does Angel Reese handle the backlash of all the Caitlin fans and all that kind of stuff, and he kind of focused his. I don't know where it started, but he and RG3 kind of got into it back and forth on the difference of opinion, and that got a little weird too, because
Yeah.
Ryan Clark called out RG3 in a way
Mhm.
that RG3 was like, wait a minute, you're crossing a line, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't. Well, I thought RG3 came out and said that Caitlin Clark. That Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Now, everything else that RG3 said, I didn't have a problem with it. I just don't like putting that hate label on
I
her
don't
because,
either.
all
Yeah,
right. And because we spoke about it the week before, we said that it mattered, like the fact that who fouled her. Because remember last year, Angel Reese took a hard foul from I forgot the late young lady name, and she it was a hard foul. She knocked it to the floor, and Angel Reese got up and didn't do anything. And RG3 brought that up too, So
yeah,
he said that because she didn't say nothing to the other young lady, that she must really hate Caitlin Clark.
yeah.
But you can't put that label or that title on
No,
people.
no.
You know.
I disagree with RG3 on that as well. I mean,
Mhm.
that's and the context does matter, right? If
Yeah.
if if you're constantly being compared to another rookie, and now they're sophomores in the league, if you're constantly being compared to them,
Mhm.
and it's different if you get a hard foul by that other person who's your rival,
Yeah.
who's your rival, or just maybe they're not your rival, but the media is making them your rival, right?
Yeah.
And if you get a hard foul from them, well, then you're gonna react a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Last year, Reese had to deal with all the same things Caitlin had to. The pros are going to test you. They're going to they're going to see what your weaknesses are. They're going to play you hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's why,
and and I don't remember Caitlin or Angel getting up after being fouled hard, trying to get in anybody's face last year, because
yeah.
they're rookies, and you don't do that when you're a rookie, right?
Right.
You gotta earn you gotta make your bones, as they say, right?
Yeah. So I just think that those two young ladies just need to really just be careful how they handle the situation as far as like the like getting involved in that off the court or different people's narratives
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah,
that. As long as they don't, get into
yeah,
that, be all right. But I
yeah,
think,
and I think that's where Caitlin has maybe some more, just because of who she is, and the hype around her. She's
mhm,
built she's built some she's built a team around her that can help
mhm,
guide her with that marketing aspect of it. Because
yeah,
that's really what it is. It's the marketing aspect of it, right?
right, yeah,
And I don't think Reese has done anything that's way over the line. She's made a couple of missteps in the media, but
mhm,
yeah,
yeah,
I think
yeah,
she gets way too much criticism and hate, um, for just being a young lady, right?
yeah.
I mean,
But
we
see,
yeah,
yeah. But like to your point though, I think it's important to have people like some media trained people in your
yes,
circle, and you can tell that that Caitlin Clark has people around her, like you said,
yeah,
because when you look at before Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark met in that championship game, Caitlin Clark was doing that hand,
yeah,
she
yep,
was showing her fans up and doing that gesture too, right?
yep,
But after that, somebody might have pulled her coattail and said, "Look, that's not going forward. That's not going to
yeah,
work. That's not going to
yeah,
look good, for your brand and stuff like that." Um,
yeah,
so yeah, that's why I said, they got to play this situation like Magic and Bird played it back in the day. The fans going to do and say what they going to do, but you can't
yeah,
really
yeah,
feed into none of that. Yeah, but other than that, man, I do want to see. I didn't know that the Fever was playing New York early today. I thought that was a later game, so I don't know. I might be able to catch some of that a little bit later on.
yeah. Well, so
Yeah.
far it's still in the first quarter. It's pretty competitive.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. So yeah, I think this will be a test for the Fever right here to see how they can,
Yeah,
how they hold up against the
the
championship, the
champs. Yep.
champion team. Yeah. But So now let's talk some NBA, man. That we watched what? We watched Minnesota and OKC the other night. That was a good game.
Yeah,
I thought it was a
yeah,
good game, man. I just like OKC, man, because they play hard on both ends, and they really impressed me. Their half court game on the offensive end really impressed me, man. And
yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
probably going to be the difference throughout this series between Minnesota and OKC.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if OKC wins it. I've been a T Wolves fan for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and I was disappointed at the start of the season as they looked like they took a step back from last year's team that made it to this same spot.
Mm-hmm.
But down towards the end of the season, they were playing really well, and going into their matchup with the Lakers, that just playing great ball.
Mm-hmm.
I think the matchup problem that they have with OKC is definitely on the defensive side, because they're a really good defensive team.
Yeah.
But OKC's got an answer for everything.
Yeah, they do. They do.
On the offensive, and then OKC on the defensive side, they just lock you down.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's they made the Timberwolves in those two home games in Oklahoma. They made the Timberwolves kind of one dimensional.
They did. They
Right.
did.
And they blocked up. They really block up the paint and just really made them shoot from outside. Now the thing with the Timberwolves are, when they get hot, they can hit those. But the last couple of games, they were missing open shots, and that's very unlike the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
So if the Timberwolves have any chance, they got to get the outside shot moving.
Yeah. Well, and the good thing about the Timberwolves, for them, fortunately, they going home. You know,
they're
going home, and so yeah, man, I just enjoy watching this guy, that Shea guy, man. I mean, because I like that mid-range shot. I think that mid-range shot is it's a lost art, and in the at that NBA level, I just think it's a lost art. And every time he's seen a matchup that he liked, man, he just went one-on-one and shot a turnaround jumper or just elevated over his opponent, man. That just was
that 15 footer for Shea is automatic.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's just automatic.
Yeah, I like that. That was cool, man.
And he's another one of those, because you were talking about the other day with Halliburton, man. He's that same long point guard type that he's so smooth.
Yeah, he is. So yeah, I tell you, I like those big guards because they can defend at one end and then they can get a bucket at the other end.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just, and you can't hide like that. That's how the Chicago Bulls, like if you don't have to double nobody and you long like that and you can stay and keep everybody honest, and then when you have somebody who like Shea who can get a bucket when you need it in a close game or somebody who can bring you back if you have to. Yeah, that's just tough, man. That's tough. Yeah. So
and they're long in a lot of spots.
Yeah. Yeah.
That Holmgren, man, he's 7'1".
Yeah.
And he plays point forward. Power forward.
Yeah. But see, I like Holmgren too. I like, I was impressed with what I seen with Holmgren also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good stuff right there. So look, going back to Minnesota, do you think Minnesota stand a chance though to extend this series?
I do. Yeah. I do. I mean, and that's not just because I want them to.
Yeah.
But it's I think they've got to, if they get their stroke down and they start hitting the outside shot, that does open up a little bit more of a chance for those drives. I mean, the other night, when they couldn't get the outside shot, those open shots, and Naz Reid and DiVincenzo coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they just struggled. They just really struggled. If they can get some of those shots going and open up the floor a little bit more, then Naz Reid doesn't look like he's got his shoes tied together as much.
Yeah.
Because when he had to drive in and get in traffic, man, you could see his footwork is not good.
Terrible. I was like, wow, he need dance lessons for real. He looked bad out there.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that they're role players for Minnesota. I'm thinking that they'll play better at home than they
I do
did.
too.
The crowd. Then you have to deal with the crowd.
Yeah.
And also, this will be a test for OKC. Like, just to let you know, like a gauge to let people know, like what type of championship type team they're going to be, because if they can go into somebody else's home court, a hostile environment, and do what they did at home, boy, we in for some great basketball for the next few years. If you can keep these young guys together, when they play like that, we're like, okay, we really got something now. Somebody can go into somebody else's house and just
I'm not ready to say he's the second coming, but I've been riding this SGA train all year. I mean, the kid is something special, and it's not a surprise that he won the MVP. I mean, if his trajectory keeps going the way it's going, and he can lock down a couple of championships, then we're going to be talking about putting him in the same pantheon as those other names we keep talking about.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So this is, but again, like we said, I don't think that it's over with for Minnesota.
No.
But
and Minnesota's not going to lay down. I mean, they're going to.
Oh no. Yeah. Anthony Edwards, he's not going to let that happen. He's definitely not going to let us.
I mean, Minnesota's got all the right tools.
Mm-hmm.
It's just OKC is just a complete team, right? And they're gonna everything's gonna have to work well for the Timberwolves. Get the shots moving.
Mm-hmm.
They can, and you said it, if they can figure out a way to get the mid range going, then it's just going to be a back and forth. Who could stop who?
Right? Yep. Because I think in the half court, OKC half court offense just is better. It's easier for them to score in the half court than it is for Minnesota.
Right.
Like if it's a running gun type game, then Minnesota will be able to keep up with OKC. But playoffs, in the playoffs is not usually like that. Like in the playoffs, it's a half court game.
Yeah.
You slowing everybody down. So
that game last night, switching to the Pacers and the Knicks, that game last night had some wild back and forth in the second half. It started for a while. It started to turn into a track meet. And the Knicks realized, well, if this is the way we're going to play, we're definitely going to lose.
Yeah, see, and I think Charles Barkley said something like that, right?
Yeah.
In the first game, he said that if you play that up and down pace with Indiana, eventually you're going to lose. Or, you're playing into their hands.
Yeah.
And
because the Knicks had a couple of fast breaks. That they scored right away, and before they could even turn around to get back on defense, the ball was already down to the other end. And the Pacers were like, if you want to play this way, we'll play this way and we'll beat you.
And the thing about the Pacers too, their half court, they can play the half court game too. They don't have to run. They got enough size, whereas though they can play that half court game too. Halliburton, Tyrese Halliburton, he don't have to always go all the way to the rim. He pulls up, so really, you got to defend that whole floor. You got to defend that whole court when you're playing against them.
Yeah, and that's definitely a matchup nightmare for the Knicks right now
Mm-hmm.
because it just feels like at almost all the key spots,
Mm-hmm.
the Pacers have the size on them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and yeah, and it's showing. It's showing,
Yeah.
especially down at the end of the game when everyone's tired and that defense is the most important.
Yeah.
The Pacers are making the shots,
Mm-hmm.
and I never like last night when Brunson had a chance to tie it with that three, and he he missed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
New York have to work. Excuse me. New York has to work so hard to get a shot off too with that length.
yeah,
You know,
yes,
of Indiana, you got to be able to create space. Brunson, he has to be able to bump people to create space. And what's the guy named Neesmith? So when
yeah,
Brunson bumped Neesmith to try to create space, he's still, Neesmith is a stocky guy, but
yeah,
he's still bigger than him and can
yeah.
recover, and so he can affect that shot. So Brunson, man, got to work so hard just to get a shot off. And yeah, by the end of the game, they just gassed.
And yeah, and Neesmith and Halliburton, man, they're just money when the
Yeah,
game's on the line and it's a gotta have it. It doesn't
yeah,
matter where on the floor they're putting it up. They're hitting those shots.
right.
That's the thing that's just impressed me with the Pacers. It's like, man, this team is much different than this playoff team is much different than the regular season team.
Yeah. I think now they're going back to Indiana.
Yeah.
And Indiana, they was a low seed. They come to New York and they take both of those games. That's not good.
No.
That ain't looking
No.
good, Now you got to
The
go play in their house.
yeah, but the flip side of that coin is that the Knicks in these playoffs have been kind of that same type of team on the road, right? Because they've won a lot on the road in these playoffs. So both teams is what I'm saying. Both teams seem whatever gene that is they've got in them in
Yeah.
their DNA. Both teams play really well on the road. So we'll see. Their backs against the wall. If I feel like if they lose tomorrow night, then it's probably over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. So you think that who's stand the most chance of getting swept then? Is it Minnesota or is it New York?
I think it's Minnesota, to be honest, because
For real?
I think Knicks. I think the Knicks are going to steal one in Indiana, and if they steal it tomorrow night, then that's probably going to go 7. I think if Minnesota's got more to prove to me tonight because they've been so cold, and if they start hitting their shots, then I think they can push it to 6 or 7 games.
Yeah.
I mean, I still predicted at the beginning of the playoffs that OKC was going to make the finals. But I want to see Minnesota push them to 7 games and maybe steal it. But it's got to start with their shooting, and I think there's a better chance the Knicks figure things out than
Minnesota.
Minnesota getting just getting back in the groove.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I just look at it like New York lost 2 at home, and I just think it just looked like New York is going to Indiana, and it just looked like like things not getting any better for them as far as like that's just another hurdle for New York to overcome. Going to somebody else's stadium, their arena, and they just beat you 2 times. So
yeah.
But yeah, man, both of those guys got their work cut out for them. Brunson, like even before this series started, I was like, it's going to be hard for Brunson to because of the length of Indiana. It's going to be hard. You know, I don't know how tall is Brunson. Is he 6'1", 6', 6'1", something like that?
He's in. Yeah, he's in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a good 5 inches shorter than Tyrese.
yeah. So yeah, that's it's you know that length really affects your shot. And then see, but the thing about Brunson too is Brunson has a good mid range game,
Oh yeah,
but he's dealing with that length inside that paint. So you really have to. It's harder to score, you know, like from 15 feet on in when you're dealing with guys who are just athletic and have long arms. That wingspan, you know. Yeah, man, they got their work cut out for them. Definitely got their work cut out for them. Man, I would say that New York is in more danger, in my opinion, than
okay,
Minnesota. Yeah,
okay,
just for the fact that it, you know, like I said, that other hurdle that New York they going to Indiana.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's it. On paper, it feels like a bigger hole
mm-hmm.
to dig out of when you've lost two at home and you're down 2-0
Mm-hmm.
and you're going on the road. But I mean, the thing with the Knicks, they've proven that they can win on the road
Yeah,
in these playoffs.
yeah,
So
they need it.
that
They're gonna need to prove it
I mean,
again.
both teams have their backs against the wall, and the T Wolves. It feels like there's only one major component that they need to solve, and that's shooting right now.
Yeah, that's and I think what is missing from their game, I sound like a broken record, is that 15-footer.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that 15-footer.
Well, we'll see if Fincher can draw something up and start getting that.
Mm-hmm.
Getting some of those open shots. And yeah. I'm drawing a blank on the OKC coach. I can see his face.
Yeah, that young guy. I don't even know this guy's name.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean he's got an embarrassment of riches because that team is so talented, and they play like you said, they play every inch of that court very well on both sides, and so I think Fincher's got to coach him up and get the T-Wolves some easy buckets early in the game to get them rolling.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they can get the threes dropping and open things up.
See, that three is a double-edged sword, though. Because
it is.
It gotta, if you go after that three, you gotta hit it. And if you don't hit it, you take some of the aggressiveness away from your from your game when
Yeah.
So that's a double-edged sword.
It puts so much more pressure. It puts so much more pressure on the next trip, right? Because if you need a three and you don't get it, then that next trip you're just compounding the problem. Yeah.
And going over to speaking, I want to on Indiana. That's Carlisle is the coach for Indiana, right?
Yeah.
And so Carlisle is doing something else that I don't think like a lot of people not really taking mention to is he's going deep into that bench.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So that he's using that bench right now. And that's going to also New York don't have that
depth.
Yeah. And so in a long series, that again too, that gives Indiana the another advantage because he put some guys out on a court for Indiana yesterday that I haven't seen all season. I'm like, oh my goodness, this dude up there coaching.
Yeah.
Man, he out there playing chess.
Well, and you said, I mean, I remember you saying this, 3 or 4 weeks ago that Thibodeau, he just runs those guys into the ground.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, the Pacers are young. They got a lot of depth and length, and they were definitely running them last night.
Yeah. And when I seen him come off that bench with some guys, that he hadn't played all year long, man, I'm like, this dude, he coaching for the long term, and that experience that these guys are getting, if they advance, it's only going to help them in the next series,
Yeah.
because if Indiana has to go against OKC, you never know who you're going to need, who can give you some quality minutes against somebody like Chet Holmgren. They're big guys. What's the guy named Miles? Is his last name Turner? I forget. I think it's
for the
Indiana.
Indiana.
Miles.
What's that? Miles Turner.
Guy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Miles Turner. Then they had another big guy that came in behind Miles Turner who got some quality minutes. So they got there's two bodies right there that they can throw at Chet Holmgren, So that if Indiana, I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Indiana and OKC, man, that's going to be that'll be a good series just for the fact that
yeah. I mean, so let's play that out. I mean, OKC, Indiana, that's going to be the odds-on final, given how the conference finals are shaking out.
Right.
And I think that has some drama to it, just because of these young kids making it to the finals. This is the next generation.
Yeah.
And I think that will help generate some interest that the NBA's been lacking for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean the other matchups do have some storylines to it, right? So Minnesota Knicks, obviously that was the trade at the end of last year that sent Cat.
Towns,
and was Julius Randle part of that as well?
Julius Randle went to over there to Minnesota.
Yeah. So I mean, there's some interesting storylines there. Minnesota and Pacers. I mean, I don't know what the storyline would be there, just other than Ant versus Halliburton.
Yeah. Old Brunson.
Yeah.
Halliburton.
Yeah. And then Knicks OKC. That would be I mean, that'd be an interesting matchup. But I mean, of all of those, I think that the two that probably get the most storylines built out of them are going to be OKC against the Pacers or Minnesota against the Knicks.
I think OKC and Indiana kind of mirror images of each other. Both young teams. Then long and athletic. Both of these teams are really good in the half court, but both teams can run. So that would be a good series too. Definitely. That would definitely be a good series, man. I do think that I don't know who do you think is deeper though between OKC and Indiana? I know OKC can at least go like 7 deep that I could,
Yeah. I think skill wise, they're probably about equal.
Yeah.
To up until the 7th, 8th guy. So and that's probably where all the that's probably where all the important points are going to come from.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we're witnessing the birth of the next generation, and I think if I had to put money on it right now, I'd say this is OKC's to championship to win. I really think they're just proving to be the unstoppable force right now, and SGA is he's that special kid that's gonna emerge as the next superstar.
Yeah, I think so. I would give the advantage to OKC also, just because I think this kid SGA is just
Yeah.
he the real deal. But the more I see of Halliburton, man, and I was not even high on Halliburton, except for the fact that I like like he a big guard. But other than that,
Yeah.
but man,
Yeah.
he can run. He'll run your offense, but then when you need buckets, he can go get you a bucket too.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's
He's definitely the second coming of Reggie Miller. I mean,
oh yeah.
his his poise, his
Mm-hmm.
confidence, and his attitude. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got that dog in him, like Reggie did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely a second coming of Reggie. Yeah, man. So I'm just excited about like these new group of this new crop of young players that's in the
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
we're seeing right here, man. It's just it's looking
These
good.
these these four superstars, I like every one of them. I've
Yeah.
been impressed. Obviously, I love Ant. I'm glad he's a Timberwolf.
Mm-hmm.
SGA has just impressed me every time I've seen him.
Yeah.
Halliburton has probably changed my mind the most
Mm-hmm.
because he is just shown in the playoffs and down at the end of the season. The kid is fearless, and he's taking those shots, making those shots,
Yeah.
and yeah, he's the real deal. And
Yeah.
and I've always thought Brunson has just been nothing but
Yeah.
a tough. The kid plays 100% all the time. He's not afraid to take the tough shot either, and he's been making great end of game shots.
Mm.
Except against Indiana. But yeah, I mean, I like all these guys, and
Yeah.
I think the game. We've had conversations early in the season about how the NBA, the viewership's down,
Mm-hmm.
the product is lacking, and I think they've got a lot to work with here to turn the ship around.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been super impressed with the playoffs.
Yeah. I can agree with that. Yeah, definitely. Of these four superstars that's in it now, who do you think needs a championship ring the most?
I mean, I think Brunson. I think Brunson needs it the most.
Yeah.
I think because everyone at the beginning of the season, everyone was lifting Ant up on their shoulders
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, what's not to like about this kid? I mean, off the court, he's had some issues, but I mean, just the way he plays, the joy he shows playing the game. Kid's always smiling, and
Mm-hmm.
he play. He's so talented. The guy can jump out of the gym.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's going to be all right. He definitely needs a championship to
Yeah.
solidify his greatness. SGA, I mean, the kid's a rocket ship. His
Mm-hmm.
his potential is he has yet to reach his potential. I mean, he's just got everything going. And Halliburton, I mean, he's proven that he's got what it takes to be a superstar, and he's not afraid of it.
Yeah.
I think Brunson he's the meekest personality wise
Mm-hmm.
of the four,
Yeah.
right? And so his personality doesn't shine through, and so just from a marketing perspective,
Right.
people are going to put him last, and I think playing on the Knicks, it's like, okay, man, you're in one of the hottest sports markets, and
Yeah.
it's the pressure is going to be the biggest on him.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think. Yeah, I do. I think Brunson needs this the most. Because like you said, he playing in New York. And if he don't get it this year, then you're talking about
Mm.
three other teams that with these young guys, they only gonna get better because of their experience in the playoffs. Then
Yeah.
you got Houston, then you got the Rockets out there, they up and
Mm.
coming. You got
Mm-hmm.
Cade Cunningham in Detroit, he's up and
Detroit's
coming.
on their up. Yep.
Oh my
Detroit's
goodness.
coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, every year is a different year, but I just think that with these young kids coming up now, man, it's just gonna get to me, it seems like it's just gonna get harder and harder. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, Brunson.
Yeah.
The other guys will have time, like SGA, he'll have time. Like if he don't get it this year, you know, they knocking on the door, they pretty close. He'll have time, you know, won't be a big outcry. Same thing for Tyrese Halliburton, you know, he'll have another year, a couple years, you know, before people start to call him call him out. But Ant-Man, I think all the other three guys, those other three kids have a little bit more time and a little bit more leeway.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Brunson, you know, he needs to do it really, really soon. And that's because of not because his fault, because like you said, he really not, you know, he don't really like say a lot publicly, and he's not, you know, his personality is meek, not like Halliburton or not like Ant-Man, but it's just that playing in New York, you know,
Yes.
if you
Yeah.
have any type of success, man, they want you to take them all away. You know, when New York won the championship, like in 1973, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of pressure on this guy.
Back in the day, Walt Clyde Frazier.
Yeah, yeah. And was Willis Reed on that team too?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he was. I'm not sure, but yeah, man, they under a lot of. Well, he's under a lot of pressure to win one and win it soon. You know, you got all of Patrick Ewing and Sprewell and John Starks, all those guys sitting there. Yeah, man. Not only do Brunson need it, the city of New York need it.
The city absolutely needs it. Yeah.
They need it, man. And if he was to get them a championship, man, you know how he would be royalty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
He would be royalty in that
Yeah.
city, man, if he was to get them a championship. But yeah, man. But I wish, like I said earlier, we was off air, I won't be able to go live tonight. I'll be at this daggone graduation. So I wish I could go live during this game though, man, because it's gonna be a good game. I'm gonna just check my phone, you know, while I'm in the audience. I just could, you know, just watch it on my phone.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah. So we're this weekend's definitely gonna kind of be a foreshadowing of how this is all gonna shake out, right? Which two teams? Because I mean, if both of those teams go up 3-0, it looks like it's
wow, yeah,
that it's super hard to come back from 3 down. Yeah. But
to be honest, I'll be surprised if Minnesota go down 3-0. I would be surprised.
Yeah,
I would be like, wow, 3-0. I don't know what I say about that. You know, like I said,
they're playing at home. That's going to be a huge boost. And if that gets their shots going and their energy level up, I can see that definitely happening. Like I said, New York has proven they're good on the road, but Indiana's been just playing lights out. Yeah. And now we haven't talked a lot about it, but now the Mavericks somehow got the first pick in the draft. With the numbers say in the lottery they had less than a 2% chance of getting the number 1 pick, and they got it.
Yeah.
A conspiracy theorist might look at that and wonder.
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, ever since Patrick Ewing Patrick Ewing went to the Knicks, LeBron James went to Cleveland. I'm like, I don't know. Like, why not, instead of just playing with people, playing with people's intelligence, just go ahead and say, we're gonna put them on this team just to make things interesting.
Yeah,
it's just crazy, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But yeah, I wouldn't consider myself a conspiracy theorist, man, but I mean, some things are just obvious. A 1% chance, and here you have the Washington Wizards that's always in the lottery.
Yes.
And I don't know when the last time they won that lottery. So yeah.
So do you think they pick up Cooper?
Yeah, man. I mean, they better. I don't see why not. Like, who else can? I mean, all right. If Cooper is good in the half court, if you run in a half court, and that's the future. I like because he can hit. He don't rely on that 3-pointer. He hit the mid range and he go all the way to the rim. Then he played defense at the other end. That's the future of the league right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the style that's everybody's leaning towards. What else would you want from, like, I don't see anybody else or anything else that you could get from somebody. I know, like, if people say, well, all right, we're going to draft for needs. He meet all the needs. Like if any team needs somebody who can score, he can score. You need somebody who can defend, he could defend. You need range, I guess I don't see. Yeah, man, they better get him. If they don't, somebody's getting fired.
I mean, he seems like a really good replacement for Luka.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So they got Luka out. They got AD in on that trade, and then I forget the other scrubs that were involved. But
yeah,
I mean, you get Cooper down there, and if AD in this second part of his career, if he can stay healthy, who knows? Maybe Dallas is back in a conference championship in a couple of years.
Yeah, man. I think they better get him, or else that conspiracy was for nothing. They have to pick him up.
Makes a good story.
Yeah, I mean, to me though, I don't really mind the as long as the product on the court. I'm more so concerned with like the product, you know what I mean, like what we seeing on the court, than I am like where, like those type of like who gets the draft who and all that.
Yeah.
As long as we getting some good basketball out of the deal, and I think they probably know that,
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Well, and it's kind of sad to think that I'm looking forward to this next version of the NBA, and all of these players that we've talked about. I mean, they're just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
But it's definitely signaling that the window is closing on the old guard, right?
Yeah.
LeBron is. I mean, I just don't see LeBron being relevant anymore.
No.
And Curry is. He's definitely, such a superstar, but he's even talked about, hey, he's only got a couple years left on his contract, and I don't see him re-signing at all.
Yeah. So did you see Curry playing for somebody else though, like later on in his career?
Nope. I think when his contract's up in 2027, I think he hangs it up. That's just my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that's the case. I don't want to see Curry play nowhere else.
Yeah.
I think that like you said, LeBron and Kevin Durant too. I think that era is just about over with. We watching now.
Yeah.
We watching the future, so and people like what I know I like what I see, with these new guys.
This is definitely the best playoffs that I've been watching since before the bubble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree. I definitely agree. Yeah.
And we don't have a team from California or Texas in the conference finals.
Yeah. At least not this year, but next year I think things. I think like I said, this new crop of young players, man, it's just making it exciting to watch basketball again.
Yeah.
So look, I'm gonna ask you this question, right? The NBA, I consider the NBA to be Broadway. and I consider the WNBA to be off Broadway. And I think, now let me ask you this: do you think with the NBA starting to trend, like they starting to trend up, do you think that's going to be bad, or that's going to have a negative effect on the WNBA?
If with all the eyes that the new players have brought to the W, we've all said, hey, that's a great thing, and it's two things have happened. The first, all of these players are bringing some really good talent, right? And it's not just Caitlin; it's a whole set of young players, whether it's Cardoso and the potential she has, or Cameron Brink and her skills at the center position. Even Paige Beckers this year, right? She's bringing a lot of hype and a lot of skill.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of new eyes on the game, seeing the talent that these young kids have. And I know the old guard is going to say, hey, we've had this talent all along. I don't know what's different with this new set of rookies in the last couple of years, but whatever it is, we're getting the eyes on that game.
Yeah.
And I think if the NBA is starting to trend back up, I think the WNBA benefits from it. I don't think it takes away viewership. I think the game of basketball is a fun game to watch. It's a fun game to play. I can't play worth a damn, but it's a fun game to play. But it's a great game to watch. It's a good product when you've got it. For me, this is just my experience. It's a fun game to watch when it's physical and it's competitive. And if it's just, hey, who's the fastest to 130 points? Well, that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
And I want to see the defense. I want to see the physicality of the game. And I think part of what is turning things around for the NBA is they're finding, whether it's the league or whether it's the teams, finding out a way to play within the rules that way. We're seeing some more physical basketball being played.
Yeah.
If the women have been playing this way the whole time, I guess I hadn't realized it. But the women have been playing physical basketball. So I think everybody wins with the style of basketball they're playing right now. I think everybody gets, the viewership goes up both ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
at least my viewership's going up. I'm watching more basketball than I have in the last 4 or 5 years, just because I like the brand of basketball that's being played.
Yeah, I agree. I think I watch more now too, but I'm not so optimistic as you are. I just think that when that NBA is like, if the NBA is turned up, I think that affects the WNBA. And not in a good way. I just think that it's just hard because like you only have so many. Number one, like when the NBA is playing the way they supposed to play, and which it looks like these guys are going to start playing that way. So you're getting a better product, like, all right, if the NBA is just running up and down the court, shooting threes, then that's different. That's part of the reason why I thought, like, with those guys who shot in that last era, that it was just boring. Even Kobe Bryant said that, it was a boring brand of basketball. But if it's not boring and you're getting a better product out there, I just think that people are going to spend their money on a better product. And that's just, that's just what I think it is with that basketball, the NBA.
I think, I think if people have limited dollars, They're going to spend their money first on the NBA before they spend it on the WNBA. And I think that's just always been the way it is. And
Right.
and the economics prove that out, right? Because the NBA has to subsidize the WNBA.
Right.
But I think where we're at right now with the style of basketball both products are giving us, I feel like that's going to be a good thing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, hopefully that's the case. But yeah, I'm gonna do some more research because I want to see like what the numbers were for the WNBA when the NBA was doing good. Because for instance, Cynthia Cooper, when she came into the WNBA with the Houston Comets, they won the first 4 championships. And I gotta look and see like what was the NBA. What were their numbers like at that time when Cynthia Cooper and Tina Thompson and all those women was doing their thing, with the Comets. I don't know if that was at the end of Michael Jordan's. I don't know what year they was, the Comets was doing their thing, but I'm gonna do some research on that and see. But yeah, I don't even know what year the WNBA started back up. I mean, when they first started. Was it in the late 90s? No, it was in the early 2000s, I think. Yeah, it wasn't the 90s, it was the 2000s.
I want to say late 90s.
You think, all right, late 90s?
Yeah, I that's what I remember, but let me look that up real quick. When did the WNBA start? Oops. Let me go back to that. All right. When did the NBA start? 1990 is founded in 1996.
Oh, okay. All right. So they started in 96.
Well, it was founded in 96. And so the first season started the 97 season. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
97.
So 97 was their first. All right. So I'm trying to think who was in. I'm going to do some research and see who was in the league then. I know Michael Jordan retired in what, 02, 03.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and Kobe and Shaq, that's when they had those good teams with Kobe and Shaq at those times, like in the early 2000s. Michael Jordan was with the Wizards then, around in the early 2000s. Yeah. So wow. All right, we'll see. Yeah. So that's all I got for today. You got anything else for today, Jim?
No, I'm also gonna be watching my phone because we're headed out with some friends tonight to go out to eat that we haven't been out with in a long time. So I'll keep an eye on that game.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can catch some of this Liberty and Fever game, and then I'm gonna head out too.
Yeah, I think it's at halftime, and it's a 9-point game. Liberty up. Boy, high scoring first half, 55-46.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna watch some of that.
That's an offensive game for the WNBA.
Yeah, they putting them points up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right, Jim. I appreciate you, man. And
you bet.
I'm trying to think. I won't be able to go live tonight, but tomorrow there's a game. The Knicks play tomorrow night, right?
Yes.
All right. I'll definitely go live for that game, and so I'll probably go live twice tomorrow.
I gotta see. Yeah, I should be online tomorrow morning.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, good discussion.
Yeah, no doubt. As always. But I want to everybody make sure to like and subscribe. Also, I appreciate everybody who tuned in to watch, and don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. We'll be back here tomorrow talking about the NBA games tonight and some WNBA, and so yeah, man.
And if you want the latest report on the NHL, you just let me know.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
That's not quite the hot topic. Unless you're in a northern state or Canada.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, man. Yeah, everybody just be sure to leave a comment and don't tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. And with that being said, we are out. Peace.